Hello everyone, welcome to MBA Karo. Recently, Pranav sir attempted NMAT 2024 official mock, and today I will be discussing reading comprehension part of it. Now, see, in this mock, he got three passages, right? And in the actual exam, you might get two passages or you might get three passages. It depends, right? We know that it varies. In our mocks also, we have followed the same pattern that in some, like in one mock we have two, in some we have three. So the same pattern is being followed. This is just to inform you that it is not the number of passages will increase or decrease. It just varies, right? From two to three, it varies, and every passage has four questions, right? So four questions per passage, and we are going to discuss that now. So if you are new to our channel, please make sure to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow our Telegram group as well as WhatsApp group for free PDFs and other study material and other question solving and discussing part of it. If you're preparing for NMAT and SNAP 2024, we have a course going on right now. We have the batch going on right now. The link is there in the description box. Feel free to check that out. Now we come to our first passage, right? The first passage says exporting. This is going to talk about exporting. Exporting means sale of an item produced, stored or processed in supplying firm's home country in a foreign land. Right? So a home country to foreign land is the exporting. Same firm regard exporting as little more than a convenient, some firm regard exporting as a little more than a convenient way of increasing total sales. Others see it as crucial element to overall corporate strategy. So this is about exporting something that it is a very convenient way to increase total sale. Others says that it is a very crucial element for corporate strategy. Okay. Passive exporting occurs when a firm receives orders from abroad without having canvassed them. So they are receiving order from abroad. Active exporting, active exporting conversely. So in passive you are receiving orders from outside. In active exporting, what you are doing conversely results from a strategic decision to establish proper system for organizing the export function and for procuring foreign sales. Right, so you are yourself sending things outside. Exporting may be direct or indirect. Two forms of exporting are given: direct or indirect. With direct exporting, the exporter assumes full responsibility of the transfer of goods to foreign customers. So in direct exporting, exporter has the full responsibility of the goods, right? Full transfer of the goods, custom clearance, local advertising, and final sale of the goods. So everything is on the exporter. Fine. In indirect exporting, uses intermediaries. Indirect exporting uses intermediaries. There are many people involved. Export merchants, for example, reside in exporter's country, acting as principals in exports transaction, that is buying and selling on their own accounts. So there is export merchant. Next, they are wholesalers who operate in foreign market through their own salespeople, stockists, and perhaps retail outlets. So they are this export merchants, right? So we are like exporter has to depend on export merchant in this case. Exporters are relieved of administrative problems because export merchant is taking care of stockists, retail outlets, advertising, foreign market, all the things, right? So they are taking care of about everything. So the exporter is relieved of administrative problem, any documentation, shipping or internal transport and so on. So anything that is like there, exporter is free from that, and they do not carry the risk of market failure. It does not carry the risk of market failure because that person who is involved is going to like do some things on his own. However, what happens now? However, they lose control over the presentation of their product, and foreign sales may fall because of the poor foreign retailing. Now, they have talked about direct indirect exporting, they have discussed about active passive exporting, they have talked about the pros, that the exporter is free from all the administrative work and all, and this is about the cons of it, negative, or we can say drawbacks of it, right? Cons or drawbacks. So both the things are discussed here. Next, exporting is cheap and convenient to administer and carries no risk of failure of direct foreign investments. The revenues from foreign sales accrue entirely to the exporting company. So foreign investment, whatever is coming, sorry, foreign sale, whatever are they are like entirely the sale is accrued to the exporting company rather than it having to repatriate for profits from foreign subsidiaries. And the firm builds up a network of contacts of foreign agents, distributor, retail outlets, etc. So obviously they are making contacts outside also. Direct exporting provides total control over the selling process. So in direct exporting, we have total control on selling process. It prevents the need to share know-how with foreign partners and cut out expensive intermediaries. So again, pros of direct exporting. Exporting can be highly profitable, although the development of an export facility can place severe strain on business resources. So obviously, if you want to have a robust exporting this export facility and the entire system, you are going to like strain your resources, right? So exporting is discussed, active passive exporting, direct, indirect exporting, pros and cons of direct as well as indirect exporting is given, right? So this was our passage. Now the first question is, the phrase strategic decisions most nearly means, right? So they have not asked what exactly it means. They have asked most nearly, best of all, right? Most nearly means. So let's see first of all where strategic decision is given. It is given here. This is the strategic decision. And what does this line say? Active exporting conversely results from a strategic decision to establish proper systems for organizing the export function and for procuring foreign sales. Right? Now options which we have are method, instance, good plan, pilot study, premeditated plan. Now here they are talking about strategic decisions to do what? To establish proper system. So it's not like method to establish proper system or instance to establish proper system or just a good plan or a pilot study. Here it has to be premeditated plan. Everything has been discussed discussed in prior in advance, and then there is a proper system for export, like for organizing the export function. They have conducted created a proper system for for sales also, for foreign sales, for export function, how everything is going to work, right? How are they going to sell their product, or how are they going to export their product. So it has to be premeditated plan. Method is some just way of doing something. So by just simply method we cannot come at a very proper system. It's just a way of doing it. Like what in what way they want to be the export things, right? Instance would not come here. Good plan is just a good plan, but again not premeditated, as we discussed earlier. That premeditated is means everything has been discussed in advance, right? So good plan is not making much sense here. Pilot study is like the initial study, the first phase of study. So pilot study, notice it's like it has to have a proper plan in advanced plan, premeditated plan, right? I hope this is clear to you. Next, they are asking the word accrue most nearly means. Now, let's see first of all where this accrue is mentioned. It is in here. Revenues. This is talking about revenues from foreign sales accrue entirely to the exporting company. So, means it suggests, this line suggests that revenue is going entirely to the exporting company. Right now, what does this mean? Waste? No. Lessen? No. Collect? Maybe. Scatter? No. Dissipate? No. See, all these words have different meanings. Scatter is mean uh, like scattering, or some things that is everywhere, in not a good way. Dissipate, again, not a a positive one. So here, when we are saying that revenues from the foreign sale accrue entirely to the exporting company, accruing means collecting or going to the exporting company entirely. So it has to be collect. Otherwise, waste, obviously no. Lesson, no. Scatter, not scattering anywhere, nothing is being dissipated here. Next question is, now what is central idea of this passage? This is a, see, for central idea based questions, you have to look for the option that has everything that is mentioned in this passage, right? Because central idea in your option could be partial as well as like the complete central idea. We'll see how. Option A says how sales are dependent on exporting. Is it so that this passage is telling you how sales are dependent on exporting? This passage is just explaining you one of the ways to sell things to like foreign in the sale things in foreign markets. They are not saying how sales are dependent on exporting. Like if you do not export, sales are not going to happen. This is not the case here. Second says how business depends heavily on exporting. No. C says exporting role, types, merits and demerits. This is one thing that is mentioned, that they have discussed about exporting. What is exporting? Then they have talked about the role of exporting, how exporting helps the people or the businessmen. Then types of exporting, active, passive, direct, indirect, merits and demerits, pros and cons, which were there. This is one thing. Option D, process of exporting and types of exports. See, the process is not given. How things are exported, this is not mentioned. Process is not there, not the type of exports. He says export merchant act as catalyst in exporting process. No. Correct would be option C, that this passage, the central idea of this passage is exporting, role, types, merits and demerits. All these things. This thing particular, this option particularly, this gives the central idea of it. Right? Everything that is covered in this passage. Next question. According to the passage, indirect exporting involves fewer problems. Indirect exporting involves fewer problems. However, major drawback of indirect exporting lies in the fact that now indirect exporting starts from here, that uses everything. Either exporters are relieved of administrative problem, documentation, shipping, internal transport, and so on. They do not carry the risk of market failure. Pros, however, they lose control over presentation of their products, and foreign sales may fall because of the poor foreign retailing. This is one thing that drawback is given to us. Pros are given, then this is one con that is given to us, right? About indirect exporting, that export merchant or like the exporter basically is relieved from all the stress of administrative work, right? And he can be sure that this is not going to carry any risk of market failure. The other person who is the export merchant, he or that person is taking care of everything, like from documentation and foreign sales in foreign market, advertising, like everything. So he's taking care of everything. But what is the major drawback here? That they lose control over the presentation. They do not have control over anything, nor the presentation, nor the foreign sales, or how they are like retailing in that market. Right? This is one thing given. So now we have to find the option that has this particular thing. Right? Options which are given to us. Internal transport makes it difficult. No, even everything is taken care of by that foreign merchant, right? Because it resides in exporter's country, acting as a principal in exports transaction, this particular person, so he's taking care of everything. He says there can be a risk of market failure also. No, it is clearly mentioned that there is no risk of this do not carry risk of market failure. C says administrative problem can arise at times. This exporters are relieved of administrative problems, right? D says dealing with intermediaries can be painful process. Exporter does not have to deal with it. Okay. E says the exporter has little control over poor presentation of their goods on foreign shores, which might affect sales. The last line, this, however, they lose control over the presentation of their products and foreign sale may fall because of poor foreign retailing. This line suggests this only, that the exporter has little control over poor presentation of their goods in foreign shore, and it might affect sales, right? So that is why we will go with option E. Next passage. Next passage is, most experts readily acknowledge the human brain's computing superiority. So here we will be talking about human brain's computing superiority over machine computing. We are going to compare these two. Okay. Intelligence, as we know it, can be simulated but cannot be readily reproduced in machines. So intelligence, it can be simulated, cannot be readily reproduced. Okay. One area where the human brain is so different and superior to computing machine is related to symbol recognition and interpretation, right? Let's see how. What human beings are able to do with such ease that it is not even considered exceptional. Machine of today are simply unable to match the ability in any credible way, right? Humans use symbol. Humans use symbol most extensively when dealing with written languages. Essentially, now they are telling you how humans use symbol. They are saying that humans understand symbol way better than machine does, right? Essentially, letters are graphical symbols representing certain sounds, and the words are grouping of these letters. So letters and words are described here, that letters are just a set of graphical symbols, and they represent certain sounds, and words, they are formed by grouping of these letters, right? Then these words, when arranged in a sequence governed by commonly understood rule grammar, when these words, first letters create words, then these words, when arranged in a proper sequence followed by grammar rules and all, they allow human to exchange, record and build knowledge. Now I am speaking, right? So what am I doing? I am arranging the words according to the grammar rule and according to the way that we have been taught how to convey things. And that is how humans are exchanging, recording and building knowledge. Correct? This in turn allows for learning, communication, collaboration on a scale that had a multiplier effect on the survivability of Homo sapiens. So we can survive with it, right? By talking to each other, by exchanging knowledge, exchanging information, we are able to survive it. It can be safely said that the absence of this special ability to interpret graphics, human beings may not have been around for so long. So human beings have been around for so long because they are able to exchange information through graphics, they are able to communicate with each other. And this is what this suggests. Then after all, there are these word processing softwares which seem pretty smart. They can check spelling accurately. They can deal with basic grammar issues and seem to be able to deal with written language very well. Right now, see, interesting thing about this thing is, in 21st century, did I miss something? Yes, I missed this line. A 21st century information highway cruising human may not agree. After all, because how this human being may not agree that without this. After all, there are these word processing softwares which seem pretty smart. They are not saying they are pretty smart. They are saying it seem pretty smart, and they can check spellings accurately. They can deal with basic grammar issues and seem to be able to deal with written languages very well, right? So means there are chances that they might not be as accurate as they are perceived to be, right? Then a specialized word processing program allow instructions to be written for machines. So instructions are written for machines using same graphical symbols used by human to communicate and collaborate, right? This may give the impression that machines are very good at interpreting graphics that lie at the heart of written language. This may give the impression. However, there is a crucial difference. Crucial difference is, graphical symbol understood by computing machine are predefined in terms of their geometry and size. Consistency of geometry or shape is crucial to machine for being able to make sense of graphical symbols. So for machine to be able to make sense from graphical symbols, right, they have to be consistent. They have to be in consistency with the geometry and shape. There should be a proper shape and geometry. Then only machine will be able to make sense out of it. Next, symbols used in the context of language. That is where the superiority in human brain is so clearly evident. Let's see how. Even if the geometry or shape of symbols or size of the symbols or their relative arrangement to each other is loosely consistent, means if it is not properly it is not properly consistent, human beings can interpret the symbol. For example, a young child who has learned to write may not be able to draw the letters as an adult would. This is a fact, right? And moreover, everybody's handwriting is different, even in adults. However, all adults would still clearly and consistently interpret what the child has written. Brain works that way. On the other hand, a computing machine would require a very high degree of programmed familiarity with the shape and size of their child's writing to be able to make sense out of it. Right? For every child, the uniqueness of its writing would have to be programmed into the computing device, but human beings have no such constraint. Human beings can understand, understand whatever the child is writing or whatever a person with very poor handwriting is writing, right? But for computers, there has to be a very high degree of like programming thing has to be done, right? Then next, while it is legitimate for the humans to rejoice at triumph over one more powerful computing machine, it constrains the potential of what machine can do to service human being. Right? Keyboard predates computing devices, but remains the dominant method for human-machine interface. Keyboard is the dominant method for human-machine interface. While most humans would want the machine to consistently and accurately interpret their handwriting, computing devices are far from being able to do so. They cannot really interpret everybody's handwriting. Computing resources are precision devices by design. So they are precision devices, right? If things have to be very precise when like maybe a code or a language or whatever they are entering in the computer, it has to be very precise. And this militates against fuzzy functioning. Precision by definition would severely limit deviation, while the human brain seems to be designed to process deviations to arrive at precision. So this precision by definition would severely limit deviation, while the computer brain seemed to be designed to process deviation to arrive at precision. If you are giving like various things to human mind will definitely arrive at precision, right? And yes, and in computer, they have mentioned about precision. They have mentioned precise things to avoid deviation in order for computer to look for a particular thing, right? Like could be anything, a command or something like that. Still, it seems like the gap between human brain and computing device is not going to be bridged by radical design changes, but by ever increasing computer force governed by Moore's law. So they are saying that the gap that is there between brain and computing device, it is not going to be bridged by just radical design, but maybe it can be overcome by it could be bridged by this Moore's law. Okay, this by ever increasing computing brute force that is governed by Moore's law. Till that happens, till this gap is filled, an interesting application of this very wide gap between the human brain and machine computing is in the area of online security. There's a wide gap in the online security. When software needs to ascertain if the entity that is interacting with it is human instead of artificial computing resources, complex graphics are used. See, this happens with us a lot of time when we are logging into something or something like that. They ask you are you a robot or a human, this type of question, and then they give us random things. It could be graphic, it could be which of the following is crossing or bridge or car or motorcycle, these kind of things. So now when software needs to ascertain this thing, they they give complex graphics are used. These complex graphics could be a word written by a child presented as an image. If these are interpreted as expected, the probability is very high that the interaction is with a human. Now, see, this is very funny. I would say that in order for computer to establish the fact that the person interacting with it is human, they have to give complex graphics because they know that computer cannot recognize complex graphics. Like for example, any word written by a child, computer would not be able to recognize it because it is not being fed in the program. But human beings, they can uh, reach to the precision from deviation that is mentioned here, that if you give them a lot of different things, they will still be able to reach at the precision point, right? So this is what is there, that if computer needs to establish that the person interacting with it is human, they give complex graphics, right? So this was all about this passage. It is about human brain human brain's computing superiority over machine computing. So this is what we have discussed here. Now the question is, What is crucial for machine to be able to interpret graphical symbols meaningfully? Now this thing has, we have read this thing in this passage. I think here, yes. Read this line. Consistency of geometry or shape is crucial to machine being able to make sense of the graphical symbols used in the context of image. So in order to be able to make interpret graphical symbols meaningfully, consistency of geometry or shape is crucial. So now definitely we have to look for the option that goes with it. Option A says consistent sizing. No, sizing is not mentioned anywhere, in fact, that there has to be of a consistent size. Consistent geometrical shape and geometry, consistency of geometry or shape is there. Size is not there. Then similarity of sound, no. Consistent coloring, no. Consistency of geometry, yes. Acha, I'm underlining the things which are not following. So sizing is not going to follow. Sound, no. Coloring, no. Consistency of sequencing, no. What is the correct answer? Consistency of geometry or shape. So option D would be the correct answer. That consistency of geometry or shape, that is needed. Right. Next question. What aspect of design of computing devices goes against their ability to be able to deal with graphical symbols as humans do? What aspect of design of computing devices? Okay, and it goes against them being able to deal with the graphical symbols as human do. Okay, let's see. Mm, this has to be somewhere here. This, let's see. Computing resources are precision devices by design, and this, see, computing resources are precision devices by design, and this militates against fuzzy functioning. It is there. Every question is from the passage itself. If you read the options, so option 1 says precision, option B says fuzziness, option C says consistency, option D says natural language processing, and option E says none of the above. So if you read these options and if you have like retained this passage properly, you will realize that this line is mentioned here, that computing devices are precision devices, and this, because of this precision, this militates against fuzzy functioning. Right? So fuzziness is ruled out, consistency is ruled out, natural language processing is ruled out, and none of the above is ruled out because it is there. So the correct answer would be precision, right? Because they are precision device by design. Now this is a very good question, and these kind of questions are asked. You just have to have the like to be able to comprehend this information given to you in the passage properly. Option question says identify the correct sequence of logic which links human ability to deal with symbols to its survival as a species. Now let's see. First, let's read the options. Learning, communicating, and collaborating leads to development of language, which is key to survival of Homo sapiens. He says symbol allow for learning, communicating, and collaboration, which further refines language that is so important for the survival of human race. C says language skills lead to extensive use of symbols, which leads to learning, communicating, and this. D says extensive use of symbol leads to language, which allows for learning, communicating, collaboration, which are crucial for survival of the species. Now, this thing, when I was explaining this passage like earlier, there this thing came out that symbols are nothing but graphic these graphics graphical symbols, like sorry letters are nothing but graphical symbols representing a certain sound, something like that. So we'll read this thing from here. Humans use symbol most extensively when dealing with written language, right? So letters, they are graphical symbols representing certain sounds, and then words are from this letter. Then these words are arranged to form a sentence, right? And that's how they exchange knowledge, and then they build knowledge, and this in turn allow for learning, communication, and collaboration, and then it has multiplier effect on the survivability of Homo sapiens as a species. This is mentioned here. So now which of the following, which of the options given to us resonates with this one? Learning, first they have mentioned learning altogether. Learning, communication, and collaboration leads to development of knowledge, language. No. First, language was developed. First, symbols were like formed into letters were formed into words. Then, symbols allow for learning. Symbols are not allowing for learning. We have to create something from these symbols. Okay. C says language skill leads to extensive use of symbols. See, extensive use of symbols, like they were converted into words and then sentences, and that's how language developed. So language skill is not leading to anything. D says extensive use of symbol leads to language. We are using symbols extensively, forming words, then forming sentence. It is leading to language, which allows for learning, communication, and collaboration. This we have seen, which are crucial for the survival of species. This learning, collaboration, and communication is crucial for survival of species. So that is why B would be our correct answer. It is clear, right? Because see, in this passage also they are saying that symbol lead to language. They allow for learning, communication, and collaboration, and this is crucial for survival of Homo sapiens. Clearly there. Now next question. Now, how is the gap between machine computing prowess and human ability to deal with graphical symbols likely to be bridged? This also was there when we were reading the passage, that there is a gap between machine computing and human ability, and this can be fulfilled by what? Option A says artificial intelligence, option B says quantum computing, option C says through radical design change, option D says intelligent human machine interface, E says Moore's law, because Moore's law based on increase in machine computing. Now, if you read here, this, it seems likely that gap between human brain and computing device is not going to be bridged by radical design change, but by ever increasing computing brute force governed by Moore's law. So they're saying it is not going to be bridged by radical design change, but by Moore's law. So artificial intelligence is not mentioned, quantum use of quantum computing is not mentioned, radical design has been rejected, intelligent human machine interface, no. Correct answer would be Moore's law based on increase in machine computing powers, right? I hope this is like, see, these are pretty easy passages. Everything is there in the passage itself. Nothing to infer, nothing to, you know, put a lot of thought about. Means you don't have to overthink while solving these passages. Whatever information you are able to mark from the given passage, that you have to do that simply. So if you are liking this video, liking this session, do like the video and please share it with your friends, right? And comment if you like this so that we can come up with more of such videos. Now, this is the next passage. It seems that whenever people who wear glass or contact lens get together and discuss their vision, one of them says something like, nearby object appear blurry to me, but I cannot remember if that means I am nearsighted or farsighted. So they are saying when people who wear glasses, they come together, so they have a few questions. One of them would say that near objects, they are appearing blurry to me, so I do not know whether I am nearsighted or farsighted. Or someone else might say, my glasses allow me to see far away objects more clearly, so does this mean that I am farsighted? They have questions. Here we will explain the meaning of nearsightedness and farsightedness as we explore the basis of basis of eye focusing disorders. So this passage is going to be about eye focusing disorders, and they will be explaining the meaning of nearsightedness and farsightedness to us. Okay. Now, first they are discussing about nearsightedness. Nearsightedness is formally called myopia, that is short vision. It occurs when the parallel light rays from distant object fail to reach the retina. The lights fail to reach the retina and instead are focused in front of it. So they fail to reach the retina. They are focused right before, right in front of the retina. Therefore, distant object appear blurry to myopic people because it is in front of the retina, not reaching to it. Then nearby objects are in focus. However, because the lens accommodates, bulges the focus of image properly on the retina. So that is why nearer objects they are able to see properly. Myopia results from an eyeball that is too long. So myopia results from eyeball that is too long. a lens that is too strong, lens is strong, and a cornea or a cornea that is too curved. So three reasons of myopia. One could be eyeball that is too long, lens which are too strong, or cornea that is too curved, right? Correction of myopia requires concave corrective lenses. So what is the correction of myopia? Concave corrective lenses that diverge the light of rays before they enter the eye so that they converge farther back. Means, see, okay, this is retina, let's say. Okay, I'm very bad at drawing. This is retina. So image is forming here. Okay. So all the light rays are like coming here and image is forming here. So the correction is concave corrective lens. So when the lens is there, concave corrective lens is here. So the image would be formed farther. Like if one image is forming here, so image 2 would be forming on the retina itself. So that is the correction here, right? I hope like this is pretty understandable. To answer the first question posed above, nearsighted people see near objects clearly and need corrective lenses to focus on distant objects. Right? So this one question whether they nearby object appear blurry to me, but I cannot remember like if means nearsightedness or farsightedness. So nearsighted people they see near objects clearly. So if this person has like this person is not able to see near objects clearly, means he does not have nearsightedness, right? Then we have next one farsightedness. Hmm. Farsightedness is commonly called hyperopia or far vision. This occurs when the parallel light rays from distant objects are focused behind the retina. Now, in nearsightedness, they were focusing in the like in front of the retina. In far-sightedness, they are focusing behind the retina. Right. Hyperopia usually results from eyeball that is too short. So, nearsightedness or myopia resulted from the eyeball that is too long. Here, it is resulting from the eyeball that is too short or a lazy lens. People with hyperopia can see distant object clearly because their eyes muscle contract continuously to increase the light bending power of the lens. Right? However, the diverging rays from nearby objects are focused so far behind the retina, they are focused so far behind the retina that even the full bulge even at full bulge the lens cannot focus the image on retina. Therefore nearby objects appear blurry because it's there, so focus has to be in on the retina, so that is why nearer objects appear blurry. Furthermore, hyperopic individuals are subject to eye strain as their endlessly contracting muscles tire from overwork. Correction of hyperopia requires convex corrective lens that converge the light rays before they enter the light. So if again in concave lens also and in convex lens also the light rays are like corrected during the time they're entering their eyes. So they have to be formed on the retina, right? So light they converge the light rays before they enter the eye. To answer the second question posed at the beginning of this essay, far-sighted people can see far away objects clearly and require corrective lenses to focus on near objects. Second question was, my glasses allow me to see far objects more clearly. So does this mean I am far-sighted? So in near-sightedness, the glasses help to see far objects more clearly. You cannot see far objects clearly without glasses, right? Understood? So two questions have been answered. Next, they say unequal curvatures. Unequal curvature in different part of cornea or lens cause astigmatism. Now, this is third kind of thing. First was nearsightedness. Second was farsightedness. Now, this is third astigmatism. In this condition, blurry images occur because points of light are focused not as point on the retina but as line. So, in astigmatism, blurry images occur. Why? Because this point of light, they are not focused as points on retina but they are focused as lines, right? So basically unfocused, not properly focused. Simply ground lens. So what is the correction? Simply ground lens or contact are used to correct this problem. Eyes that are myopic or hyperopic and astigmatic require a more complex correction. So if somebody has all the three problems together, it requires more complex correction. You might have seen people with like it's a lens, let's say they have this lens of a spec and then there is something here, right? So it is like nearsightedness, farsightedness, if they have all both the two. So this part is for reading, to be able to read the nearer objects properly. You might have seen many, like in your, like maybe your grandparents might be wearing these kind of lenses, so you can see their lens, right? So eyes that are myopic, hyperopic, and astigmatic require a more complex correction. And finally, the eye that focuses image correctly on retina is said to have emmetropia, that is harmonious vision. So this, when this eye is focusing images correctly on retina, means there is no problem at all. We have to focus the image correctly on retina. That is why we are wearing like either contact lenses or we are wearing spectacles, right? So whole point is to form the image exactly on retina. So if this eye is able to do that, means it is healthy, there is no problem at all, normal state. Now, what is the central idea of the passage here? We have seen we have read everything, we have understood everything. Now what is the central idea? Option A says it illustrates the structure of human eye. No, it is not illustrating the structure of human eye. Not at all. Nothing is mentioned about structure. It is just talking about that image has to be formed on retina. That's it. B says discusses views of people with poor eyesight. No, it is just the question that is there in the start. Not entire passages about it. C says it describes the different type of focusing disorder. And in here also they say here we will explain the meaning of nearsightedness and farsightedness, and we explore the basis of eye focusing disorders. So option C says it describes the different type of focusing disorder. D says it explains the pathway of light through the eye to the retina. It is not explaining the pathway, just explaining how disorders happen. E says discusses the treatment available for people with poor vision. Again, no, not only this. Okay, so the central idea is to describe the different type of focusing disorders, and then obviously they are correcting also. So they are describing everything. They are not only talking about treatment, they are describing the different type of focusing disorder, right? Next question is, according to the passage, a person needs to wear concave lens. Why do they want to wear concave lens? In case of astigmatism, now in case of astigmatism, this is mentioned here, correction is roundless or contact lens, right? So they are not wearing concave lens. When they are far-sighted, in far-sightedness, nearsightedness, far-sightedness, correction, however diverging is, people will have therefore nearby objects. Yeah, correction here is convex corrective lens. Farsightedness correction, convex corrective lens. So ruling this out. C says in case their eyeball is too short. Again, eyeball is too short was somewhere here. Eyeball, uh, it was there. Therefore, this results from eyeball. Yes, this results from eyeball that is too short or lazy lens, right? So again, this is also not the case here. D says when the correct image is focused on retina. So if images correctly are on retina, so it is a healthy eye. We do not need any corrective lens for this. So when they are suffering from short sightedness, near sightedness, correction is concave corrective lens. So the correct answer is option E. Right? Everything is there in this passage only. Then select the word or phrase that is nearest in the meaning to the given phrase. Harmonious vision. Harmonious vision. Emmetropia. Right? And why is it so? Because eye that focuses images correctly on retina. So this is healthy eye, right? So option A says perfect eyesight. Option B says when things appeared blurry. When things appear blurry, so nothing is appearing blurry here. Image is exactly formed on retina. Things will be be blurry. Either image is formed before retina or behind it, right? In front of retina or behind it. If the image is on the retina, nothing is appearing blurry. Then ability to see up the farthest point only. No, ability to see up to the farthest point only. This is not harmonious vision. Then ability to differentiate between different shades. No. He says when correction for only shorter distance is required. No. This would be in fact this would be Far-sightedness, correction for shorter distance is required, right? And when you are ability to see up to the farthest point only, this would be near-sightedness. So this is near, this is far. Differentiating between this shades is something different. Things appear blurry. You can see here that is astigmatism, right? So astigmatism is also a condition. So things appear blurry. Things appear blurry actually near sightedness also, far sightedness also, and astigmatism also, right? So in like this near sightedness, we were able to see see up to the farthest point, right? But after that things appear blurry. So this can also be the thing. So understood. Now the correct answer here would be perfect eye, because it is like there is no correction needed. Image is exactly forming on the retina only, right? Next one, select the word that is nearer to blurry. Hmm? Now, where is this blurry is mentioned first of all? Objects appear blurry to people. Here also, far away of this distant objects appear blurry. Uh, this thing, distant object, because this, and near objects appear blurry. Then this image, blurry image is there. Okay. So now this word blurry, thick, clear, limited, smeared, unfocused. Why are these images appearing blurry? Because this is your retina. So the image is either formed here or here. In case of nearsightedness, image is forming in front of retina. In case of far-sightedness, image is forming behind retina. For a proper perfect vision, image has to be formed on the retina. What does this mean? Image is not focused on retina. That is why it is like appearing blurry. So it is not thick, it is not clear, it is not limited or smeared, it is unfocused. Because the rays which are not able to focus on retina, because of that we are seeing blurry images, right? So that is why unfocused, something that is not properly focused, right? So if you like want to practice more, you can give our NMAT mocks. And as I described earlier also, that like the exam, our mocks also vary. They follow the same exam pattern, and like in exam we have in in some paper, like for some students there would be 3 reading comprehension, for some students there might be 2 reading comprehension. So same thing we are following in our mocks. We have 10 full length mocks in NMAT interface. Solution for all the question is provided and at par with the actual NMAT difficulty. Then if you are preparing for NMAT or SNAP, feel free to check out our course. We have an ongoing batch right now, and the link is given in the description box. You can see that. We are offering discount on NMAT SNAP courses for repeaters. Score NMAT score 2230 plus and or SNAP score 97 plus, you are going to get a 30% off. And if your NMAT score is 220 plus or SNAP score is 95 plus, you are going to get a 20% off. And to avail this discount, kindly mail us at support@mbakaro.in and avail the discount. I hope you like this session. Do subscribe to our channel for more such videos. Like this video, share it among your friends, and do let us know in comments of how much you like the video and if you want more of it. So I'll take your leave. Thank you for attending the session. Thank you for watching the video. All the very best for your exams. I'll see you in the next one.